my world began in the fashion industry. As I said, I started working. I lived in a city here in Florida called Ocala, great little place to grow up. And in high school, I was invited to come work at this really beautiful little men's store that was offering, I think, what we would refer to as the Ivy League look, or the classic look, or the traditional look, or some people would know it as the Great Gatsby, very traditional style of clothing. And had a great guy that I worked for, and I learned a lot about that industry. In fact, so much so that in high school, this is how I dress some days: three-piece vest and chalk striped suit. In fact, we had I got together with a group of friends, and we put together this dress up day, and everybody would come to class dressed to the nines. And of course, the faculty loved that, but then that gave us the right to also call Beach Bum Day, and we could get away with it because they couldn't have one without the other. So I was dressing the part at a very young age, and then I continued to stay in the clothing industry all the way through college. I went to junior college there in Ocala, so I continued to work for this guy and learn more about that industry. But when I went away to school for my junior and senior year, I continued to work in a clothing store. And it was during that time that I discovered, guess what? Photography. And it was a unique setting in which I visited this guy and watched him develop some film and make some prints in a darkroom. And I was just fascinated by it, and got him to develop one of my negatives, and it looked horrible. And I asked him why, and he says, well, because you don't have a good camera. I mean, you've got a little tiny Instamatic or something. So I went out for Christmas that year and bought myself a decent camera, a Mamiya Secor, and then, every time I got a chance to upgrade, I did so. I think that's a German Rolleiflex in there. When I moved to Atlanta, there was a great camera store, and that guy taught me a lot, and also taught me how to build a dark room and things like that. So I photographed everything from a paper clip to a doorknob, you name it. I photographed it. I loved photography, and I had a dark room at that point. And the darkroom was like having a great professor who showed me what I did right and what I did wrong. But what I really enjoyed doing was photographing people. And so I went out of my way to find people to photograph, and challenge myself to photograph them in different types of settings. Stop people on the street and ask them. This was in Washington, D.C. I don't think the guy spoke English, but he figured out I was asking him if I could take his picture.